It was a typical night at the Frost residence, or so it seemed. Kirk and Rasheeda, known for their entrepreneurial spirit, had been juggling their careers with family life, all while trying to maintain their marriage. However, beneath the surface, tensions were simmering. Rumors had been swirling about Kirk's loyalty and Rasheeda's growing frustrations as the couple navigated the turbulent and glamorous world of reality television. Few couples have captured the audience's attention quite like Kirk and Rasheeda Buckner Frost. Their journey on love and hip-hop has been filled with drama, love, betrayal, and ambition. However, recent events have sent shockwaves through their fan base, turning their once invincible relationship into a headline-grabbing scandal. The scene would have made for compelling television, but sadly, this was real life. As the evening wore on, the atmosphere became more and more charged. What began as a disagreement over routine household matters quickly turned into a heated argument, with voices raised and hurtful words exchanged. The neighbors, alarmed by the commotion, dialed 911 to report a domestic disturbance. When the police arrived at the Frost home, they were met with a tense situation. Following a brief assessment of the situation and interviews with both sides, the police decided to arrest Kirk, as Rasheeda seemed extremely disturbed and had red, swollen eyes from crying. When the news surfaced, followers who had followed the couple through their ups and downs on social media exploded in shock, disbelief, and fear. Fans were forced to deal with the fact that their beloved pair was now involved in such a grave situation. Rasheeda stoked the flames with an impassioned Instagram post: "I never imagined having to deal with this. I should be respected and kept protected." As the tale developed, it was evident that this was more than simply a fit of rage, rather. It was the result of underlying problems that had dogged their relationship for years. The description included a picture of her that showed her to be both powerful and vulnerable, a powder keg of emotions waiting for the right spark. In the days following the fallout, the intensity was palpable, and celebrity insiders conjectured about the toll that reality television fame can take on personal lives. The pressure to maintain a perfect image while dealing with personal demons can create a powder keg of emotions. Despite their differences, several gathered to support Rasheeda and urged her to put her safety first, while some fans expressed loyalty to Kirk, pleading for empathy and understanding. "We've witnessed them go through so much," one fan bemoaned, the tension evident both online and offline. In her quest for understanding and healing, Rasheeda sought advice from close friends and family, thinking back on the years of her marriage and weighing the pros and cons of each romantic getaway they had shared, each of which seemed to have a corresponding moment of betrayal or disappointment. The dichotomy of their lives played out in front of the cameras, but the truth was far more complex. Meanwhile, Kirk had to deal with the legal repercussions of his actions. Scheduled to appear in court shortly, he was facing the implications of the incident as well as the reality of his marriage. As he readied himself for his court appearance, he expressed sorrow and perplexity, saying, "I love Rasheeda and I want to make things right, but the road to reconciliation was anything but clear." As the day of the court hearing drew near, speculation about what might happen grew. Would Kirk take responsibility for his actions? Would Rasheeda stand by him, or would she choose to move on? The drama was reminiscent of the most suspenseful episodes of Love and Hip Hop, but the stakes were higher. Rasheeda was determined to put her own and her children's well-being first. Friends close to her said she was weighing her options and considering what a future without Kirk might look like. Supporters eagerly anticipated the result. In the end, their narrative served as a cautionary tale about love, fidelity, and the complexity of human relationships. The saga of Kirk and Rasheeda took on a life of its own, serving as a stark reminder that real lives are at stake beneath the glitz and glamour of reality television. Though the future was still unknown, one thing was certain: Frost's journey was far from over. As he prepared to reveal a shocking truth that had sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, Kirk Frost leaned against the polished countertop of his upscale studio. The weight of his revelation hung heavy in the air, and his expression alternated between disbelief and simmering anger. "Rasheeda, my former partner and ex-wife, has allegedly stolen $9 million from our joint ventures," Kirk began. "This isn't just a rumor. This is a reality I've been grappling with for too long. I trusted her. So seeing that she has been embezzling money from us feels like betrayal on many fronts." The studio, which had once been a center for creativity and cooperation, now felt like a battlefield, a mixture of regret and nostalgia. Kirk reminisced about their early days together, how they built an empire in the music industry, and turned their aspirations into a successful brand that expanded into fashion and lifestyle. At least that's what Kirk thought was the reason for their success: hard work and respect for one another. But as the company expanded, so did the challenges. Kirk shook his head as memories streamed back. I thought it was just mismanagement or accounting errors. However, when I saw little at first, but progressively serious disparities in our finances started to deal farther. It was like witnessing a house of cards fall apart in front of my eyes. When he discovered records of transfers that made no sense, the problem worsened. He chose to employ a forensic accountant to investigate the accounts. When the report finally arrived, it was a gut punch. The evidence pointed directly to Rasheeda, detailing unauthorized withdrawals and hidden transactions that painted a troubling picture of betrayal. Seeing those numbers was devastating, he continued, speaking barely above a whisper. It's one thing to disagree over business decisions, but this was outright theft. Kirk's heart raced as he awaited the next chapter of his unraveling story. The findings, each passing day, heightened his sense of dread. I was unwell, Kirk recalled the instant the accountant gave him the report. The numbers glowed in front of his eyes, a symbol for broken dreams and misplaced faith. Fans and followers of Kirk and Rasheeda reacted with shock and disbelief as social media erupted, with the Kirk-Rasheeda trending as the public devoured every detail of the couple's tumultuous history, filled with love, passion, and conflict. I had poured my heart and soul into our brand, and to find out that the person I trusted most was stealing from me was a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. In the midst of the growing drama, Kirk thought back on their relationship, remembering both the highs and lows they had experienced over the years. I never thought it would come to this. It feels like I'm losing not just a business partner but someone who was once my best friend, Kirk said. Rasheeda said very little, which only fueled conjecture. As he sat in the studio, surrounded by mementos of their former shared ambitions, Kirk vented his fury, saying, I want answers. I deserve to know why she did this and how she thought she could get away with it. We built this together. It's not just about the money. Kirk was determined to recover what was lost, so he started looking into his legal options. He felt he had to act because the loss wasn't just about money, it was also about integrity and respect. I created this empire with my blood, sweat, and tears, and I won't let it be taken away. Getting legal advice and planning his next move, their combined corporate and personal lives would surely be rocked by the fallout from this revelation, and there may even be legal ramifications. What effect would this have on their reputation and the supporters that helped them? While Kirk handled these tumultuous waters, he experienced Kirk Frost's revelation regarding Rasheeda's alleged betrayal, setting the stage for a dramatic story that would captivate audiences. Under the glitz and glamour of their public personas lay a complex web of emotions: hurt, betrayal, and the lingering question of how love could turn into such animosity. Through his revelation, he declared a renewed sense of purpose. I owe it to myself and to our legacy to see this through. Steeling himself for the battle ahead, Kirk added that his determination had hardened and that he wouldn't back down in the face of criticism. Friends and supporters reassured him that he wasn't fighting this battle alone and that it ultimately came down to accountability. Put an end to this, everyone observed. Kirk got ready for the impending storm, realizing that someday the truth would emerge. Though the future remained unknown, one thing was certain: the conflict between love and treachery would play out in unexpected ways, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats to watch how this exciting chapter would unfold. Kirk walked around the poorly lit living room, his every step accompanied by the growing wave of resentment and treachery that washed over him. Rasheeda's confession weighed heavily on him. His voice barely above a whisper, he muttered, "You really did it. You cheated on me." With the look of defiance on her face, Rasheeda stood with her arms crossed. "Kirk, you believe you're the only one who can enjoy yourself occasionally? I didn't come here to play the blame game." He felt his heart sink in amazement and wrath. "Who else was it that I knew? Did you really? I suppose I should simply back off and let things go," he said. "You don't get to question me. You had your share of late nights and whispered talks. Do you really think I'd just turn a blind eye?" She drew closer, a vicious gleam in her eyes. "I thought we were creating something real, but you made me look like a dumbass." "Well, welcome to the club," Kirk snarled, her breath accelerating. "It's not about getting even, it's about standing up for myself." Her voice trembled, the bravado faltering just enough for him to glimpse the hurt beneath the anger. "I'm tired of being the one who has to put up with this." He ran a hand through his hair, feeling the weight of betrayal crush him. "So that's your excuse? You thought you'd just cheat back? That's how you survive?" "I wanted to think you could change, so I took a step forward," her voice steadying as she battled to remain controlled. "One who gives, trampled on. So why didn't you simply tell me? Why didn't you confront me about what I did?" She acknowledged that the fire in her eyes had temporarily faded. But he continued, I never wanted that. I thought we were in this together. I couldn't just sit there and wait for you to decide to be honest. You made me feel worthless. Rasheeda shook her head, tears shimmering at the corners of her eyes. The seriousness of her comments struck Kirk, softening his countenance as he inhaled deeply. I didn't realize that by keeping things light, I was attempting to protect you, maintain us afloat, he said, his fragility showing through his wrath. She shot back, but the sharpness had eased in her voice. You can't establish a relationship on half-truths and silence. I apologize. I mistakenly believed that I could manage everything on my own. I never intended to hurt you. Now what do you want, Kirk? In an almost whisper, questioned. What do you want from us now?